So front court net spin, when you see people do it well, and the shuttle spin, and it just looks so pretty. But when you do it, you can't control, the shuttle doesn't spin at all, and it's too high, or often it goes into the net, and you don't understand why. Front court net spin is such an important skill for both singles and double to control the net. When you do a good net spin, they can't attack, they have to lift, and you gain a lot of advantage when you do a beautiful front court net spin. So a lot of beginners and amateurs and even lower intermediate players, their shuttle doesn't spin, or they can't control it, they can't keep the same consistency. So I am here to help you. In this series, we're going to go through step by step how to make sure you have proper foundation in your footwork, in your posture, in your setup, and to eventually to actually play those beautiful net spin shots. We tend to play a lot of doubles. So in doubles, you certainly have more chance of being in front court and have chance to play those net spins. In singles, not as much, right? So in terms of doubles gameplay, as a front court player, it is so important for you to learn to do beautiful net spins. When the spin is tight and close to the net, you serve two purposes. When it spins, the opponent can't really attack the shuttle as much, because once it hits their racket, it can go anywhere. When an opponent sees the shuttle spin, they are a lot more careful with the way they hit their shot and their attack. A lot of time, the opponent have to wait for the shuttle to tumble out of the spin before they can hit. So when that happens, they have to hit well below the tape height, and of course the only thing they can do is lift. And then you can smash, right? Or if they're trying to do a net spin back, they can't really do up here because the shuttle's still spinning. So they can't control the net spin back very, very well, unless you're like, world-class player that have tons and tons of experience and lots of hours of practice. But for us mere mortals, the moment the shuttle starts spinning and someone trying to spin it back, you find they can't control at all, right? And even so, as you do a good shuttle spin once, you basically take out any shots that above net height to maybe about waist height as a shuttle spin. Anytime the opponent trying to hit it, they're not going to have a lot of control, which means they have to hit quite low and they're going to lift. This, for males, double games, learning to do net spins will win you a lot of points. And it's such an easy point. You don't have to do big smash. You don't have to do anything. You're just nice and relaxed, poop, and you have a beautiful net spin, right? Just nice and relaxed, right? Beautiful net spin. So as you can see, when you do a nice net spin, you don't need a lot of effort at all. But those shots are so effective in doubles game, especially not at the elite level. You will win so many points. So how do you do it? One of the most common misconceptions of doing net shots is that you have to hit up. So when the shuttle come over and it go below the net, people kind of think, for us to hit over the net on the other side, we have to hit upward. I mean, the shuttle has to go up to go over the net, right? So most players think in order for hit upward, they have to hit their racket in an upward motion to push a shuttle go over the net. So as you can see, the shuttle come over. How do I get over the net? I got to hit up to get over the net. So there's the first misconception. The second misconception is that when you do a clear, for example, you have lots of time. The shot doesn't have to be good quality. You just have to hit up, and that's it. You come back and get ready. But when you do a net shot, what you often find with most players is that one, they see the opponent, they get nervous, right? The shot tend to come a little bit faster. They get tense, they get nervous. So what happens then is that you find that they tend to rush into the shot and they can't control it very well. And for the lower level, what you find is that their grip tighten and they hit with the whole arm upwards. You will see a lot of this, like strong hand, lifting, and a lot of social badminton games out there. And that's just because people get nervous, people get tense, and they don't know what to do. Another common mistake that you'll see people do is that, okay, they now know how to lunge, they know how to be stable, they know how to hold the grip. Now they're trying to figure out how to control the height and the distance. So one misconception that they think, for me to do a soft shot, I got to hit softly. And what you find is that a lot of players, what they do is that they just do a little push and they just stop their racket. There's no follow through. So what they do is that they kind of go, they're just trying to do a little jab, a little touch, and hopefully that they will just control the shot. And you find that it doesn't work, right? Why it doesn't work is because you're stopping the momentum. There's no smoothness, there's no flow in the body and into the shuttle. Especially true, same distance again, you come forward really, really fast, because you have to rush into the shot, but then you suddenly find yourself, you got to rush and then stop, right? So you rush and you do a little soft push. It's very difficult to control. So that's when shuttles don't tend to go over the net very often, very, very inconsistent. And even when it goes over, it's really, really poor quality. So I'm just going to show on this side. So what you find, they come in and they just stop their racket, right? They bring their foot, they just stop, and hopefully next time they just push a little bit more. But everything just stop immediately, and it's very difficult to control. So it's like you're going, hui, and you stop. Very, very difficult. For the people who tend to be really stressed and really tight, what you commonly find is that the hand and the racket is like a nice straight line, nice and flat, and all they can do is that they just hit upwards like this. So for beginner, they come in and they lift like this. And the lower the shuttle go, the more they lift. And of course, as you can see, the moment when you start doing something like this, the shuttle just pop up, and it's just so easy for the opponents to kill. Sure, they can try to control that motion of lifting, but at the end of the day, it's inconsistent, you cannot spin at all, and essentially, so even if it go over, the opponent will have plenty of time to react and attack if there's a chance to go about it. Another problem when you're tense and your racket is flat and straight like this is that even if you're trying to do any kind of spin, it's very difficult because the moment the shuttle hit your racket, it doesn't go forward. It just goes straight up. So to do beautiful backspin, the first thing is that you've got to learn to be upright, okay? A lot of players, because they're rushing, they tend to lunge and slouch.
Yeah, before I did this.
Yes. So when you're slouching, your momentum collapses. And therefore, it's very difficult for you to control the shuttle, right? So as you play, so just lunge and just step forward. So imagine here, yeah. So it's really important. To be as upright as possible. So when you're in this upright posture, you're stable. Your center of gravity is behind your feet. From here, if you need to reach a shuttle, you can lean and reach if you need to, right? And because of your center of gravity is nice and high, after you hit the shot, you can come back a lot faster. Because if you collapse, it's very difficult to get back to the next shots and get ready. And as you play in doubles and as you get high and high level, the pace of the shot coming back will be significantly faster. So after every shot you play, you need to get ready for the next shot. So it's really important to learn to be upright. So one of the things I like to tell people is that you're walking around upright, right? You don't walk around like this. Well, most people anyway. So when you learn to play badminton, for most shots, you'd learn to play as upright as possible because that is your normal posture. So that's the first key you have to do, learn to be upright. Second thing you've got to learn is learn how to establish your base first. So a lot of players, because of the nervousness that they feel, and they start to get nervous and they get tense, what happens is that they rush their shot and they hit either before they land or at the same time as they land their foot. And when you do that, all your momentum is rushing forward, and it becomes very difficult for you to control such a delicate shot. So you need to control that forward momentum in order to control the net spin. So then therefore, what you need to learn is to step first, establish the base before you hit the shuttle, right? So remember, learn to relax, learn to lunge quickly. Once you figure out where the shuttle is coming in, you got to learn to figure out where you need to go, get your feet down, and establish that base. So what happens is that people rush into the shot, or they either hit first before they land, or they hit and land at the same time, which means you have huge amount of energy go into the shot, and you're not controlling your momentum very well. And when you can't control your momentum, it is very difficult for you to control such a soft and delicate shot. And the reality is, front court net spin is a highly controlled shot. So when you learn to have this stable footing, so you can do net spin. If they're already here, I can decide to go cross court. I can decide to lift if I want to. If the opponent rushes into the net, I can just do a little push. But you need to have the stable base to allow you to make those changes depending on the situation, okay? So to recap, step 1, learn to be upright. Step 2, learn to establish your footing foundation first. Establish this base before you hit the shot. So in another word, the moment you see the shuttle, this racket will follow. So you always lead with the racket, right? So the shuttle come here, my racket come here first. And once you know where you're going with the racket, you're gonna step. Make sure you have this base before you do your delicate push. That's your pattern. Point, step, hit, okay? And that's how you can do beautiful shot. If you like the video, click on one of these links here to see one of the other videos that I have made. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next series. Bye-bye.